A very warm welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You join us for the last 16 stage of the 2026 EPBF Predator 9-ball event. We're in the women's bracket. A tough matchup between our current reigning straight champion, Linnea Halmstrom, and she's taking on the tough Austrian, Sandra Baumgartner. My name is Gethin Davis. Joining me in the box for this race to 7 alternate break, my good friend and colleague, fresh from table 1, Tim de Ruyter. Welcome, Tim.
Yeah, thanks, Geth, but not fresh from table 1. That match definitely took a lot out of us. Quite a long match, but what a thrilling ending it had between Conrad, Jusician and Exposito. Now, Linnea starting off her campaign in this match. It is 9-ball, race to 7, alternating the break, and they are using a 3-point rule, which means every ball that goes in on the break is 1 point, or a ball passing over the kitchen line, past the kitchen line, is a point. So it has come up illegal for Linnea, making the 1 ball, the 3 ball into the kitchen, but the 8 not far enough, Geth.
No, not. That'll bring Sandra to the table, and she's been having a great time here in Antalya, making the quarterfinals of both the 8 and the 10-ball event. Can she take it a step further, or even all the way in this 9-ball event? Well, we'll wait to see. She has a tough opponent. Linnea winning the straight event at the beginning of this tournament. The 4 doesn't look very nice down there, and it doesn't look like it's dressed up for the combination, Tim. What do you think she's thinking here?
Well, actually, I think she is looking at a 4-9 combination, but it's quite the cut onto the 9. Well, that really did not work out. The 9-ball overcut, actually. So still getting back to the table after the illegal break, and now all the hard work has been done, I would say. Stop shot on the 5, stop shot on the 6. Small angle on the 7 to pop out of the rail.
Yeah, you couldn't have asked for a better opening layout. I did feel that combination was very brave. I also felt the cue ball was going to run close to that bottom left pocket. But these women don't need much more opportunity with an open table. And the young Swede certainly looking to take advantage here, Tim, and put a mark early on in this last 16 matchup.
Yeah, she has proven to be a very strong player, especially in the open positions. So you don't really get to see her make mistakes when you leave her the 4 ball on like Sandra did. All the hard work was done, and connecting the dots, Linnea definitely will do.
Sandra finding the 5. Enough balls going past the head string and shape on the 1. That is not a bad result from her here, Tim. And, well, she came through a very tough last 32 match in a hill-hill thriller against the Ukrainian Zarina Pritiluk. Just wondering if that took a lot of her energy out or if she's flying high with confidence. This break should give her a little bit of confidence, though.
Yeah, but still a lot of work to do. As you can see, straight or almost dead straight onto the 1. The only thing she can do is actually play for the 2 in the left center. But it's so easy to fall out of line, because you need to get so straight onto the 2 to follow up for the 3 into the bottom right corner. She's already ran too far, which means the only way things could work is if she goes straight to the bottom short rail.
Eyeing up the side pocket, Tim. Needs to be played very carefully.
Yeah, they try to go into the short rail and back out, as you can see, to play that 3 in the bottom left still. But I think she was watching the cue ball a bit more than the aiming on the 2. Now it looks like she's going for top left. Will she be able to go maybe low left spin, 3 rails around, or what's she playing for?
I think she was playing what you suggested. 2 rails around the 4, sadly scratched. And, well, that doesn't make that 3 ball any easier, but to get position on it, somewhat so for Sandra here. Well, has a good shape on it. Can bring it around the 8 ball for the 4. And I'm not sure if the 7 passes to the bottom right, but the 6 certainly does. I've got a feeling it does. Tim?
I would say so.
It's actually not too bad. She will be running into the 7, Tim. Would ideally like to run down and bring the 9 into play. That 9 may come into play, Tim.
Yeah, this is no good. Now she does have a kick over the bottom. The only problem is you're sending the 7 ball straight to the top left corner. Not so many opportunities for safety actually on this. And that's why she might be going 2 rails over. No. Kinda like going 2 rails and try to catch the left side of the 7. Sends the cue ball up table. Oh, that 7 ball goes in. What a shot there. Sandra Baumgartner.
Very nice indeed, Tim. And look at the shape on the 8. Beautiful. We'll see Baumgartner bring the scoreline back to 1 apiece. And you have to say, a real nice shot from a self-induced safety position. And well, that brings Linnea to the table. Just to give you a little update on the rest of the last 16 in the women's event, there's some big names out there. Ina Kaplan leading 2 racks to 0. We have Lena Primus leading 1 rack to 0 against Mia Virtanen. Anna Gradiznik 2-0 up against the Turkish player Eylül Kibaroglu. If you want to keep up to date with the scores, please do visit EPBF.com. Halmstrom to break.
Yeah, much better break. At least a legal break, but nothing on the 2 ball. And I'm just wondering how this happens, Geth, because I kind of feel like at times I've seen tournaments and matches where people, if they made a hit like Linnea just did, they were most likely to get something, you know? And we've seen so many safety shots after the break or push outs. No open positions.
Well, I'm not too sure if it was you and I when we started the teams event. And I think it was you and I, we had a 9-ball match. And it was before the 9-ball event kicked off for proper. And it didn't seem to be the same issues then. But I have to agree, today and yesterday, I'm just wondering if the weather's changed or if there's a bit of humidity in the arena. But something's different because all players seem to be suffering with the same.
Yeah, definitely has been a challenge. Just, well, I guess sometimes it's just gonna be part of how things go, I guess. For a shot she's played there a bit short. Maybe, no, she's okay on the 3. Excellent shot there on the 2 ball. Did not get nervous because of the referee.
Ooh. Was a thin cut. Looked like it was certainly makeable, but I'm just wondering, Tim, she played it in such a way to hold for the 4, if that maybe compromised it somewhat, but the 8-9's come to the rescue.
Yeah, I'm quite sure it did compromise that. Now, if she had played a bit more outside spin, she could have made a thicker hit onto the 3 ball, and it would throw towards the corner a bit more.
Very delicate shot from the Austrian there.
Well, push the 3 ball up to the 7 or near the 7, cue ball up table. Just gotta find traffic behind the 4 and the 6, but she's playing a bank, kind of a 2-way, bit aggressive.
Well, Linnea's nickname, I believe, is Valkyrie from Norse mythology. A powerful warrior maiden. That might explain the offense. Now, there is certainly merit in Sandra taking this on.
Oh, well, the cue ball just staying on the table.
Yeah, very good pot, Tim. Focused on the pot. There was always the chance the cue ball was running in that direction. As it is. Now shape on the 4. And this is turning into a nice opportunity for the Austrian here. She should just be able to push the cue ball down off that bottom right long rail for the 7. That little bounce off the short rail will help Tim for an angle.
Yeah, can run the cue ball just softly 2 rails forward. In that case, you kind of run towards the 8.
Closing patterns. Very nice, Tim. And is making it work very effectively. Keeping it out in the lead now, 2-1. We do have 2 men's last 16 matches on our other TV tables. Dimitri Jungo is taking on Tobias Bongers. And the German Bongers 3-0 up in that match. And there's another German over on table 3. We have the female straight champion on this one. The male straight champion is on that one. And Stefan Kasper is his name. He's 2-1 up on Ronald Regley from Switzerland. And Ronald's someone we've seen going deep in quite a few events. So that will be an interesting matchup. Back to this women's last 16. Sandra Baumgartner to break, leading 2 racks to 1. Race to 7. Had success with her last break. I'll be looking to do the same again. Made a ball in a legal break, Tim. A couple of rattlers, but that one ball has finished plumb on the 9. She's visibly not happy with the position she's left with here either. I feel there's a good safe on if she just glances off the right-hand side of the 1 or the left as it is from where we're looking. She's electing to go the other side though, Tim.
Yeah, and this does give a lot of options actually to Linia. She could go really aggressive, go offensively. She could put the 1 above the 4. The cue ball under the 2. Or even under the 7. Just... Oh, it looks like there is a eeny meeny gap. Would have been great if that 1 ball was 1 roll further behind the 4 ball.
Yeah, good opportunity for the containing safety. If she brings the 4 into play as well, that would be even more beneficial. I think there's an edge for Linnea here. Maybe more than an edge, Tim.
Yeah, so again, cue ball up to the 9, the one above the 4. Well, and again, it has leaked out.
A wry smile from the Austrian. She's just come around to take a second look at it. I don't think she can see the potting angle. May be able to just jump over the edge of the 5 ball. Makes this shot a bit trickier, but fortune favours the brave. Little flick of the 4. Just block the obvious pocket for the 1 there.
Yeah, but, well, I would be very surprised if she's actually chasing the 3 fouls, but it looks like she's chasing the 3 fouls. But would have been nice to push the 1 ball at least under the 6 or the 7. You know, if the 1 ball, let's say, would go under the 7, Sandra would not be able to stun this 2 rails into the 1 ball.
Good hit. A little unfortunate not to run that cue ball on a little bit further to bring the 6 into play. So you have to say, Linnea getting rewarded from that safety, albeit a very good escape from Sandra.
Yeah, and then now if you consider the position where she had ball in hand on that 1 ball, might have been better than the position she is in now. So I think it's just interesting the fact that she still tried to take the 3 fouls. And now the jump cue out. Predator air rush making the 2, most likely to be on the 3 ball. But she failed to make contact. And this is a chance for Sandra to make a big difference this match.
Yeah, completely agree. Self-induced from Linnea as well. These are slightly shorter races than the men's discipline, so getting off to a quick lead, even more useful. No real trouble for Sandra out there, Tim. Although straight on the 3 is not ideal, to say the least.
Yeah, you have to be very brave to play this with a stop shot and to shoot the 4 into the side pocket. But now, this not much easier though.
Wanted the cue ball up onto the 5, hit it a little bit straighter than she liked. May have left an edge of the 4. be an edge enough. No. Another scratched him.
Now, she is on 2 fall. Would not imagine the 3 falls coming into play on this. But you never know.
Actually, Tim, I think Sandra just acknowledged that over to Linnea before she took that shot. Would be very surprising if she were to need a 3rd foul in this rack, though. That last ball in hand, certainly putting her in prime position to take this 4th rack. And I think she's left an edge of this 6 ball, Tim. That is maybe a costly mistake.
Yeah, I was surprised that she left herself already longer and more angle onto that 6 ball. Oh, this is still tough. I mean, there is some tension already so early on in the match. I can feel both players not as sharp as we have seen them before.
Done well. Done very well. Brings the score back to 2 apiece, Tim, and keeps this match on a nice edge. Just having a look at the other ladies' matches underway. Some big names in the last 16. Ina Kaplan, 4-1 up on her fellow German, Miriam Steiner. Lena Primus locked at 2 apiece against Mia Vitanen. Anna Gradiznik, 4-1 up on Eilu Kibaroglu. And Maria Teresa Lopero, 3-2 up against the Ukrainian Victoria. There's some big names out there, Tim. Yasmin Ushan as well is still in this. That was a soft break, Tim. Made 1 ball, but not a legal break, and that will bring Sandra back to the table. Not much on, except a 2-7 combination, perhaps.
Yeah, but how are you gonna have control on that same 2 ball?
Oh, road of luck. That might be on. Floated with that corner pocket, Tim, but that second rail straightened the cue ball up quite nicely. Good luck on this 3. Needs to dice with the 6 here.
Yeah, you gotta go around the 6 ball. Rather go off the long rail and bump the 6 than directly into the 6. Yeah, this way you at least have the 4-ball up to the corner.
Yeah, brought the cue ball over very nicely. Not much to do off the 5 for this 6. Good opportunity for the Austrian here.
Yeah, she will definitely be kicking herself for not grabbing the opportunity in the last track. But then on the other side, you know, at least it only leveled the score. And she can take another lead, so I think for Baumgartner, she just gotta make sure the pressure stays on Linia. Because when she starts to get in the zone, that's where she's not gonna give you that many opportunities. But clearly this match, Linia has made some surprising mistakes so far. And that's exactly what you wanna see when you're Sandra Baumgartner.
Back out in the lead, Tim. 3-2. Just keeping that advantage. And very useful to do against someone of Linia's capability. As you just said, she does have the ability to get her head down and really start making marks in matches. Tobias Bongers over on table 1 was 3-0 up against Dimitri Jungo. That's now back to 3-2. So Dimitri making a comeback there. And Stefan Kasper and Ronald Regley locked at 3 apiece. So we're getting to the real exciting stages in this last 16. Sandra to break, leading 3 racks to 2, race to 7.
Yeah, and I think she's on this 1-ball. One of the more successful breaks in this match. Can she still cut the 1 to the top right? I think so. Stun left spin. Leave the 2-ball in the right center. And then it's all about getting from the 4 to the 5, I assume. But let's start with the 1-ball first. Because she has chosen not to take it on.
Yeah, I don't mind that. She's put good distance and also a 7 right in the way. Wondering if that center pocket is the side pocket just taking away her options. Maybe she can just come high of it, as she's indicated there. She's going to play it down through one rail, off the top short rail, through the 8 and the 9. Picked up a piece of the 2, Tim. Ball in hand for Sandra, with not too many problems to consider on the table. Maybe the 1 to the 2 will be one of the biggest challenges. Worked out very nice. Clip off the 7. 3 ball does pass the 5.
Yeah, and now with the 9 ball that has moved over a bit, the 5 ball way more available than it was before. But she did land a bit straight on the 3 ball, so probably will have to take a bit more distance on the 4.
Run ever so close to the 8 ball there. Did avoid it. Second rails brought the cue ball out very nicely, and Sandra looking very comfortable out there with her 3-2 lead. Could extend it. Just a little bit on further than she wanted, Tim.
Yeah, I think with top left spin, it should still be okay. I think she's not onto the scratch into the side. The cue ball will run 3 rails to play the 9 into the center, but if she's not feeling it, she might play a safety. Oh, she did. Oh, she did catch a side pocket point. And yet she is still on the 9. So this for 4-2 for the Austrian. Yeah, didn't seem to be happy to close out this rack, but yet, I mean, the only thing I would tell myself is, hey, I don't care how, I got there. 4-2 in a pretty decent position to make it earlier to a 7 than my opponent. I mean, sure, everybody wants to play very pretty. We all know that feeling, but sometimes it's just not gonna happen.
Well, and if the breaks aren't going to work out, you're naturally going to be facing a grind at some point. Dry break from Linear. Good look on the 1. No real clusters either. So good opportunity. Ooh. That's rattled and may have left a gap for Halmstrom here, Tim.
Yeah, I think as long as she doesn't touch the 6 or the 7, I think she won't be able to miss the 2 ball. I think it fits right in between. Just gotta get the cue ball back out for the 3 ball. She still put quite some spin on there, so maybe get the finest edge of the 2-ball not available. And now needs a bit of a recovery. Got the 3-ball in. And go 2 rails around the 5.
Ooh. Both players rattling a ball in the jaws in this 7th rack. That one's deep in the jaws, Tim. She did well. Cue ball will be travelling a bit to get back up for the 5.
Yeah, stun right spin into the short rail needed. Could also go with top left, but I think the stun right should be okay. Just doesn't want to stay close to the rail. I think she's fine. Yeah, I have to say the European Championships are a very long event. I mean, so many events after each other. It's just very exhausting. And especially if you look at Linia, the first 2 disciplines, she played 2 finals. So that means she already had, well, let's count real quick. That must be a match or 5, 6 per event. So you're already 10 to 15 matches in. And obviously she's played the 8-ball and now the 9-ball as well into the last 16. So it would be understandable if she might run out of energy overall.
Yeah, you touch on a good point, Tim. This is now day 9, the penultimate day of our 10-day event. And although tomorrow will be semi-finals and finals of the 9-ball and quarter-finals, semi-finals and finals of the teams, many of these players will only get a day of rest before we kick off Thursday the 12th with the Euro Tour here at the same location, the Miracle Resort in Antalya. Great for the fans, sometimes exhausting for the players though, Tim.
Yeah, then yet, I mean, most of the people probably expecting Linia to win this match easily, just because most of the people are not so known with Sandra Baumgartner. She has taken a 5-2 lead, and it looks like Linia is going to try and disturb the momentum a bit, taking a break. So that means Gethin, Davis, and myself, Tim de Ruiter, we're going to take a break too. We're just going to leave you with a nice look at the match between Tobias Bongers and Dimitri Jungo on table 1. And then we'll be right back. And we are back at the Predator EPBF European Pool Championships. And what a match we have here in the last 16. Linnea Hjalmarström from Sweden in some big trouble. She's trailing 5-2 against Sandra Baumgartner in this race to 7. Tim de Ruiter and Gethin Davies in the booth. Geth, what do you think Linnea can still do in this match?
Good question, Tim. Well, better shot selection would maybe be a little bone to pick, but in fairness, full credit to Sandra. She's really taken her opportunities well, made some very good clearances. But this does look like a dry break, Tim. Oh, she's covered the one. Well, she has the option of a push. The jump shot would be perhaps too aggressive for Sandra. Well, that's not gotten the way she'd hoped, and she left quite a straight look at this one ball. And the 2 ball, Tim, does have a path down into this bottom right corner.
Yeah, this is so tough. She's even following. Gotta follow all the way past the side, and oh, that is more like it.
Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Quite a nice looking layout for the Swede here. Good pot on this 3. You fancy her being able to drop down off the 4 for the 5.
Well, she did land with the wrong angle on the 4 ball now. Could maybe go 3 rails to play the 5 into the corner. Can she still... Does the table grab enough inside spin to move over? As you can see, this is now day 11 at the European Championship. And yet, there was still a little bit of slide on the cue ball. Didn't grab as much as it would probably do in your local pool room. No, I did say day 11. It is day 10. Did she still get onto the 6? I think she's starting to get into more and more trouble. But she's still onto something.
Be a very good time for her to start pulling some of the shots we know she's capable of out of the bag.
Oh, what a shot she's played there. Imagine every mistake at this point can put Sandra on the hill first. Now, this 7 ball will have to stop the cue ball, so a bit more elevation. See that corner of the side pocket being right in between. Can be annoying. And she's missed it. What is she gonna leave? Well, maybe not the easiest shot, but you can see the frustration.
Yeah, that was a very good chance to bring the scoreline back to 5-3. This is a very tricky 7 though, Tim, especially to get back round for the 7, for the 8, sorry.
Yeah, looks like she's gonna try and draw past the side, but gotta watch the scratch in the bottom right corner if she does so. 3-rail shape. It's leaving the 7 ball with quite some angle. So the angle out, away from the 7 ball, usually goes angle in, angle out onto the rails. So you gotta make sure. See, this might track towards the corner. But the pace is just absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect pace. And this is another steal. It's gonna put Sandra on the hill. You can see that Linia in the background, she's starting to get quite frustrated. Well, I understand. I think she's been doing all the hard work in the racks, but then she's missing something on the 4, 5 or 6. She probably feels like Sandra is just picking up the pieces, but yeah, what else is she supposed to do?
She was just saying something there, which Sandra picked up on. I'm not too sure if she was talking to herself or not. Just to give you a quick update on our other 2 tables, Dimitri Jungo trailing 3-5 against Tobias Bongers, and Stefan Kasper trailing 7-5 against Ronald Regli. So the Germans not having it their own way on our other tables. Not a legal break. A little flick on the 7 really helped. Full ball cover for Linia. Yeah, she just seems to be a little disappointed. Certainly not the cool, calm, collected Linia we're used to. The scoreline not helping clearly.
Yeah, and then now, if the balls now also start to run well for Sandra, we might see some frustration. No? Okay, she played it calm still. I was gonna say, if the balls start to run against you, even though you've already been struggling, I can imagine the double frustration coming out. I mean, she's always quite mellow, I would say. But she's left the reel first.
Oh. And the cue ball to boot has gone in. Yeah, I agree, Tim. She is a very cool customer the majority of the time. Ball in hand, and that 3 ball making in the bottom left corner could give her a little jolt in the right direction, Tim.
Yeah, did you not feel like Sandra played that really fast? Like no measurements, nothing. She dropped down, already hit the cue ball. Like, it looks a bit weird to me. Just wondering if there is some nerves.
Well, as I mentioned in the intro, Sandra making the quarterfinals of both the 8 and the 10 ball here in Antalya. This would be for a place in the quarterfinal of the 9 ball. So maybe a little bit of pressure on herself, from herself, Tim.
Well, she has landed perfect on the 5 ball. Just gotta make sure she crosses over, straight over, in between the 7 and the 9. Don't catch a piece of the 9. With her back against the wall.
A good boost for the Swede, Tim. Brings the scoreline to 6-3. Might not be enough, but that we will have to wait and see. Just having a quick look along the other last 16 matches. Well, 3 players have already booked their place in the quarterfinals. Ina Kaplan, who Linnea beat in the straight final from Germany, has already booked a place in. Yasmin Ushan is in. And Johanna Indelkoffer is also already in the quarters. Which one of these two will book their place in there? That's not a nice cue ball for Linnea to return to. Bit of a pause.
Yeah, not necessarily sure. She wanting to... I don't know what's happening. I mean, I can try to speculate on this, but does she want the cue ball to be cleaned, and is the referee very busy on the other table, or like the player that they did stop the shot clock for something?
Yeah, I think you might be onto something.
I mean, it could be so many things. It could be the shot clock referee that has to go to the restroom. I mean, who knows?
When nature calls, Tim, nature calls. Just using this opportunity to have a quick look out at the men's. Well, Jonas Suto, Ronald Regley already booking their place in the quarterfinals. Still some big results to come in there. Oh. A little bit unusual for us, Tim, to be left in this situation. We have had plenty of time to ponder on this one ball. I'm still no clearer myself.
Yeah, I still wonder what it could be. I mean, obviously over the years I've played quite some EPBF events and shot clock, and like, I mean, I've seen quite some things, but just don't really understand. Were they checking to
Replay.
see if it was, yeah, maybe a replay indeed, checking to see if the break was legal? Yet I guess we will never find out unless I call them after the match, which would be weird.
I actually think you're right. I think it was them just waiting to get a replay on the break. And I do know if they were looking to use the YouTube, there is a few seconds delay that perhaps they were waiting for. I have to say, Tim, that is not safe enough, although the fall will be hampering Sandra. Hey,
But
that's the second time.
Yeah, but I also don't understand. Like, I feel like frustration. Like, she's winning 6-3. And like I said, the real first earlier, she just dropped down and winged at it. Now, I mean, I'm not going to say she didn't try the one ball. But it looked more like a frustration kind of hit on the ball than someone that's trying to win or something. Yeah, I don't know. It looked off. And
do you know?
Yeah.
But when they were starting, or when Sandra was racking, Linnea did say something to her, and it looked like Sandra was a bit confused. I'm just wondering if there was something that's gone on that Sandra's not happy about now, because well, you picked up on it straight away, that she just dropped down on the shot and whacked it, and I noticed straight away for a second one the same. Well, if something's in her head, this is a good opportunity for Linnea to try and take advantage of it. But like you said, any mistake will give Sandra a good opportunity to take the match. But yeah, very interesting.
Well, I think she was running into the 9 ball there. Missed the 9. Pretty big cut on this 5 ball. Yeah, I gotta say though, any mistake could be it for this match, but not if Sandra is disappointed about something. As we said, I mean, we could speculate a lot, but yeah, I mean, we could say a lot, but we don't know for sure. So there's no reason to do it.
No, not at all. Let's see if anything has changed while she was sat in her chair.
See, she's already dropped down. Like it truly looks like she doesn't want to play anymore. Like,
yeah,
I mean, it's
she's checked
weird.
out. Well, we've been entertained with all sorts of drama, Tim. This is another dimension, and Halmstrom needs to hold it together. This is a thin cut on the 7. Oh, nice clip on the 9.
Yeah, so she is gonna pull one more back, 6-4.
One step closer.
Leaving us a bit trapped too, because I mean, obviously we're just trying to go for a tight match, but I mean, she was playing just fine. I mean, hopefully she didn't hear me say that she's just picking up the pieces. Maybe she was disappointed to hear me say that, but no, I mean, Linnea did a lot of hard work, and then gave a lot of, well, presents, a lot of gifts to Sandra. And I mean, if you're the opponent, you just take them, right? So I don't see any problems in it. Yeah, as I mentioned, there's something happening. We don't know exactly what's happening, but I just seen a comment in the chat. She's totally crashing out, and yes, 100%.
I too am dumbfounded.
I am flabbergasted.
Great word. Now,
Well, there's another one. Bumfuzzled.
oh God, I've not heard of that one. That's a great one.
Well, it's a shot though. I mean, it's a long one ball. I thought she actually had it, maybe just not, but you see, she's already dropped down within 10 seconds. Yeah, and she's left it right over the center.
What a time to change your attitude. You'd think she would just be itching for that one opportunity. Oh, maybe that opportunity will come. That one ball has not behaved and has stayed out in the side pocket, Tim. Be great if she could just shake it off and get her head down. You have to say she's probably played the better pool to get to where she has in this match. It'd be a real shame if a little lapse would cost her this match.
Well, she's now actually aligning though, like she's looking for the right contact point, so maybe she... I mean, it just sounds weird to say. Maybe she starts trying again. I mean, there's so many ways that she could hear this afterwards and be offended by it, but she really gave us that vibe, right?
No, for sure. We're not reading that wrong at all, Tim, and I'm sure Sandra would and could explain it to us if we were to have a conversation after the match. More importantly, if she can put it behind her and take this opportunity, I'm sure it'll be all quickly forgotten.
Yeah, a bit of a tricky positional shot though of this 5. Crossing the positional area, has to play the perfect speed, but yeah, she has it. And this is the weird thing. Like now she looks like she's just been playing like she did the whole match, and now everything is fine. So, like, what a difference it has. It has made overall. She's 3 balls away from the quarterfinal. Oh, this one's a bit strong though. Again, crossing the positional area. We'll have to cut this into the center.
She took a deep breath. That's a good sign. Tough side pocket. Oh, that's not close.
Well,
got away with it.
Well, a good friend of mine have always said, there is always a cut. Now, I think this might be a bit much, but there is always a cut. Now, she's opted to play the safe. I think it has been fine, but I mean, being Sandra, I would be ecstatic to get back to the table so soon. I mean, surely she would have wanted to close it out, but you still have a chance.
Ooh. Ball in hand, Tim. This could be the drum banging for 6-5. That was a good opportunity for Sandra. And how it's flipped now to the young Swede. Six-5, Tim. This match moving slowly towards a hill, and well, if Sandra doesn't get her head back in it completely, It certainly does look like that. She will get the break, Tim. Maybe with a good result from the break, might just change her outlook somewhat. Sandra to break, leading 6 racks to 5, race to 7 on the hill.
Now roll up on the 7. Yeah, did start mumbling a bit in the chair to herself. Oh, and that rub off the 9. A little bit of an ugly position to be in, queuing over the 5 ball.
Ooh, a little rub.
Oh, what a shot that was, though. I mean, quite aggressive, but she has found herself onto the 2. But as you can see, the 3 ball doesn't go by the 8. So if she really wants to go aggressive, she could play for the cross-side bank on the 3 ball as well. But yet still, any mistake she makes could be the end.
Option to go aggressive. Not taken, and that clip on the 6 does leave Sandra with a shot on this 3. Wow. Have the wheels fallen off, Tim?
Yeah, I mean, I cannot just imagine. Like, I mean, she does look a little bit like she's trying more now. But going from, I mean, she was doing just fine. Going up, did she go up 6-2? 5-2? 6-3 or something?
6-3, yeah.
Yeah, and completely just, well, she has crashed out. She's completely just lost. Gotta say, that was a bit risky. Could have done with just a little stun off the rail to get to the same position. Still a lot of drama possible though to get from the 8 to the 9. Oh, she might have killed the cue ball a bit too much. This could be a nasty cut. Well, the outside spin does help her a lot, though, to bring the cube onto the 9 and to cut the 9 in. Or cut the 8 in and to get onto the 9, I mean. And that little bump on the 9, this means we're going hill-hill. Don't think anybody would have expected this, but we have arrived to the mountain. 6-6 in a race to 7. And it will be Linia breaking the balls. And yeah, just there to drop the balls on the table like that. I'm quite sure something has happened between the two of them. But, I mean, it's all... I mean, it happens, you know, like in sports. Action and reaction onto each other, you know, it's part of it. Now just one break for a place into the quarterfinals. And yet illegal. So control goes to Sandra and does have a 2-3 combination.
Just this match. Just this match outstanding in the last 16, Tim. Everyone else, or all the other places have already been picked, and the winner of this one will take on Anna Gradiznik in the quarterfinals.
She's chosen to run to the top side of the 4-ball. Could have chosen to maybe run into the 8-9, but yeah, maybe better to play it clean. Still quite some work though from the 6 to the 7, so I would say get the cue ball where it is now. For shape on the 5-ball, use the angle to get 2 rails into the center of the table. Oh, she's chosen to go in between. She had the lead 6 to 3 and needs this opportunity to stay alive. Oh, this might land a bit straighter. Or maybe she was trying to land straight for a straight draw. I kind of liked leaving myself a big angle and going twice across. But that must be preference.
That should work.
Yeah. Perfect. And now with top spin, probably top left. Just a little bit of left. Cross straight over. Straight out for the 8 in the bottom right. And then you would have to say, if she can finish this off, that would be quite the finish. She did play that with inside spin though. Does slow the cue ball down a bit. She's come quite low. As you can see, the cut was already quite steep. But now I'm even scared of touching the 9 slightly. This 9 to get into the quarterfinals, Sandra Baumgartner. Does make the 9 and goes through. What a match that was. And a very quick handshake between the two of them. So not very sure what has happened there. But it is the Austrian still managing to squeeze through this match. And it is all over for Linia Hjalmarström in the 9-ball. So Gethin Davis and Tim de Ruiter, we would like to thank everybody for tuning in live at Pro Billiard TV. We do still have another round yet to come. Today, in 20 minutes, we'll start think it's time for some quarterfinal action. So make sure to stay tuned. We would love to welcome you back at Pro Billiard TV. See you soon.
shot clock. If you need a referee, I will stop the time and we call referee. You have 60 seconds after the breaking the record, 35, extension is 25. You have the beep on a 10 seconds and countdown on 5.
And welcome back all the way from Turkey. This is the Predator EPBF European Pool Championships. And we've got another juicy matchup to come as we have Pedro Diego Simon. Hopefully I did go through those in the right order. Up against Daniel Maciol, who already won one title this week. Will be looking to get himself into the medals by winning this match. It's a race to 9. This is the final discipline of the European Championships and the teams are still running. And it's alternate break. 3-point rule is in effect. And in the commentary box is myself, Tim de Ruiter, gladly joined by Graham Hickman. Welcome, Graham.
Hey, Tim. Hey, everybody. Yes, crunch time. Will they make a medal or not? This is the big game everybody aims to get to. Keen to see how Daniel plays in this one. Obviously, you mentioned that he's already won the title this week, but I'm sure the memory from last year losing out in the final of the 9-ball to Kasper Matikainen, I think it was, in the 9-ball, so maybe hoping to go one better this time. But I haven't seen Simone play so much this year, so curious to see how he's doing. Looking at his stats, Tim, this is one of his best runs that are recorded, so he must be having a pretty good 9-ball run.
Well, there's just so many good Spanish players nowadays, and I mean, obviously, just like how it happens with Germany, they have so many good players, and every time a new player puts the time in and they hang out with the good players, they start to become good players too. And I think that's the stage where we're in with the Spanish players. I think I've seen him play once or twice before, but well, I probably didn't pay enough attention to it, so now it's kind of forcing me to watch his game. And let's see how he does.
Yeah, definitely. Well, made a good start here off the break, and he's done the hard work already. One more good shot, really, on this 5. Doesn't go past the 9 in the same pocket, so it looks like it doesn't anyway. He's probably going to have to come a couple of rails, Tim, back round to the middle of the table. Yeah, he judged it well. It does look like he's going to play into the 9-ball here, so he might have to take a little bit of distance. I don't think risking too much here, going forward or drawing the cue ball is logical. Bump into the 9 here, I think.
Yeah, a bit longer 7-ball though. We'll be fine to run the cue ball 2 rails around the 8. But I can imagine the nerves in this quarterfinal match, in this beginning of the quarterfinal match, being quite high. Playing probably one of the favorites for the title this year. Daniel Maschel's been having a crazy good season, or, well, last year, really good year. So he managed to already pick up 1 title. I think to maybe get into your first quarterfinal match, I don't think I've seen Simon get into the quarterfinals before. I think this start is going to do him very well.
Yeah, he must be full of confidence as well. You know, obviously, if it is his best run, which, looking at the stats, I think it is, he'd probably feel somewhat relaxed, but also nerves at the same time. And you know yourself, Tim, whenever you reach that first big milestone, I guess the closer you get to the final of a big event, the more nervous you might get. But a good start is really important. We know how well Daniel can break, especially in 9-ball. He's got such a good break, very well, wing ball flying in comfortably, making the points as well. A little bit of, well, a few balls having a party together, but
yeah, the 2 and the 3-ball, they must really like each other. 5 and the 8, a little less. He's looking to push out up table. Gotta say, I think I can see what he's pushing out to. Not saying I really like it though. I mean, it wouldn't be my pick to play from that position, but let's see.
yeah, I agree. I'm just thinking as well, what kind of safety shot? Because if he plays off the thin edge of the 2-ball, well, I don't know what you think, Tim, but maybe that 2-ball, just because of it might just run down towards the 6-ball potentially,
Yeah.
or it could just stay pretty much where it is, depending how thin he catches it. So he does need some cover here.
The problem is, if you take, he's probably gonna try and get the cue ball above the 5/8. But if you would take a point on the short rail where you would want to land the cue ball, I mean, it's just so small. It's easy to catch too thick or too thin, and either way you sell out. So, oh, he's went aggressive on the bank. Would have been on the 3-ball, but well, something on the 2.
Yeah. Do you think this drops in the middle? It does look like his head there tells you everything. Maybe it's a little bit straight and it's very narrow angle. Playing it in the top corner isn't really of any value. We could just drop this in though, Tim, maybe, and take a more difficult 3. 2 is hard enough.
Yeah, has done what you just mentioned. Now I gotta say, he did play it real soft. I would have liked if I could have stopped the cue ball. I would have liked that a bit better. This is awkward cueing, just by the side. I loved how Predator has made the edges of the corners not sticky though, so the rubber is not gonna be hampering him. Yeah, he's kinda overcut that slightly. Still making the ball, but at the wide side of the pocket. And that gave the cue ball a bit more speed too.
Yeah, he's pretty straight, isn't he? Not sure if he can run this through a little bit. I mean, if he can get somewhere even near the 9-ball with a bit of topspin, that might still be okay. Leave quite a nice angle to come round for the 6, so doesn't need to go crazy here. Just let the cue ball run out a little bit. That's a good shot. Yeah, you played that well, Tim. That's confident stuff, this, Tim. I'm quite impressed so far. I know it's only been a rack and a half, but this rack especially hasn't been straightforward at all. And he seems to be hitting the ball pretty well.
Yeah, definitely coming out of the gate strong. I mean, obviously you're not gonna make it to the quarter final of the European Championship and you won't be able to play well. I mean, that's just not gonna happen at the European Championships. Too many good players.
Well, perfect start, Tim. Little shake of the head from Daniel, but I guess it is what it is. He's just got to sit and wait for his chance. Didn't get a chance in the first rack. Wasn't a terrible break from Daniel. Played a bit of a, well, maybe not as straightforward as push out you'll ever see, but he went a bit aggressive on it. I guess he, looking back, if we were to be critical, Tim, he could have played safe, but you mentioned it was quite a funny safety shot, wasn't it? So he was kind of forced into maybe going a little bit aggressive.
Yeah, it was a bit of a strange layout actually after the break. I wasn't too sure either where to push out to. You don't want to make it too simple for your opponent too. Oh, and I like this. You see, everybody's always trying to hit the break so hard. It actually looked like Simon hit it real smooth. And, well, I definitely like the way he's broken the balls there. Made 2. He's got shape on the 1. Maybe 1 to the 3 and 3 to the 4. Bit tricky.
Yeah, it could be. I'm just wondering if he can get this cue ball above the 7, or does he have to go in between the 7 and the 6? I think you can play this with just a little bit of left and come above the 7 maybe, and have a bit of a nice angle on the 3. Yeah, it's kind of natural, wasn't it, really? And oh, what a great break, what a great chance. These two balls are in pretty good shape. 6, 7, 8 are well connected, Tim. I guess a lot of us maybe didn't expect this strong start from Simon, but fair play to him.
Yeah, no mistakes yet for the Spaniard. Well, I think it's also the only way how you're going to be beating Marshall. You know, you got to put pressure on him from the beginning. Because when he gets the lead, in general, he just doesn't stop. Like, he's a train that doesn't really stop anywhere.
Yeah, very solid, especially when in front, so hard to beat. I think like you said earlier, from Spain, I mean, he's got to take inspiration from Exposito, just winning in the final of the 8-ball just the other day. Incredible scenes, coming back from 7-4 down in the semi-finals to win 8-7. And then in the final, also 7-4 down to win 8-7 against the man from Norway, Gangflot. He's got to be taking inspiration, you would think, from that, Tim, as well. Thinking, well, if he can do it, why can't I do it? Well, Tim.
Yeah, wonderful.
Really is. Hasn't put a cue ball wrong yet so far. Flawless stuff from Simone, and I would say yes, it's still race to 9, so it is obviously very early in this match, but got to think a little bit of it. I'm not sure if Martial expected such a strong start. Maybe he thought might get a few chances, but he hasn't had a sniff at the minute. So a big break coming up here, I would think. He doesn't want to give his opponent another chance when he seems to be in some good flow. Well, different rack, Tim. This one's not going to be as straightforward with the 5 and the 8. Having a little bit of a problem. Don't think the 1 ball goes down in the bottom right corner. So probably be looking for maybe a safety shot. Don't like that side option, even if he was just to pot the 1 and then... Yeah, it looks really tight in the side. Well, and then he got there. He has left an edge.
Yeah, trying to leave the cue on the other side. Perfect.
Yeah, looks like we're going to get a little bit of safety play here. You would kind of think, well, saying that, the 2 ball does present a little bit of an opportunity, Tim. Maybe the 3 as well, if you want to go into that 5 and 8. Just because of where the 4 ball and the 2 ball is. Can be a little bit creative. Oh, how about this for a shot? Not bad. Pretty good hit.
Yeah, the only thing that could happen while playing the safeties back and forth is the fact that there is a combination 8-5. So if the 1 ball lands a bit closer to the 8 and the 5, now suddenly the combination is open. So that could make you choose a different safety shot than you would originally want. Oh, he's missed out there. Martial not up to par yet. He's not ready yet in this match.
Yeah, maybe just trying to keep it tight. How's the speed? And this one, jump cue could be coming out here. Unless he's left an edge. Looks like a very inviting jump. Plenty of table to work with. Half chance of a bank in the bottom left, Tim, maybe here?
Yeah, well, he does like to go aggressive. But he's hit it really full. Does the 1 ball stop in time? Well, it might have stopped just ugly. If it stopped the ball further, it would have been the combination. If it rolled a bit shorter, it would have been the carom. But on the other side, Simon takes it easy. Just gonna roll up on the 1.
Yeah, I think he tried to leave it a little bit closer to the 3 so he could avoid the 1 real kick. This is not a difficult hit, really. And if he catches it well, he could find himself in a bit of trouble behind the 3. Oh, he's caught the point, Tim.
Yeah, then yet still will have to play another save. Can he push the 1 under the 7-9? Oh, he did go aggressive onto the side pockets. Ooh.
Yeah, we've seen a few shots over this last week or so. I mean, that was a bit of a softer pace. He just missed that one because he caught it on the point. But even playing from that angle with a little bit of speed, pockets are so narrow and they just bobble out. This is a real first chance. Can he leave an angle on this 2 to disturb the 5? That's what I was saying earlier on. I think he's a bit thin though, Tim. Can he get there with the right hand spin?
Yeah, should be fine. Definitely can catch the 8, maybe the 5 first, yeah. Yeah, kind of all the hard work done. Maybe from the 6 to the 7, if you imagine the 7 is laying a bit higher. So, depending on how you land on the 6, you might have to opt for the 7 in the left center.
Yeah, because he was left-handed, that 3 ball was a lot more comfortable. If it was a right-handed player, he would have been bridging, so made that shot a little bit more straightforward. Like you say, key shot coming up here. Try and get this back to the middle of the table. As a key shot, you were saying, he needs to run a bit, otherwise he'll have to go around. Yeah, he's got enough. I think he might have to go forward. I don't think he can draw this back to him. Might have to go off the bottom short rail and back out. Not totally sure.
Yeah, I don't mind that though. I'd probably rather play this than leave it into the center. Yeah, I mean, you were going to expect him to run out actually. I mean, Martial, most of the matches, of course everybody at times has a rough patch, but saying he usually shows up somewhere in the match. So even if he goes down 6-0, at some point he's gonna adjust to the table, get some more feeling, and it's gonna be fine. So Simon starting early is a little bit of a backup, but I wouldn't be surprised if in 20 minutes or something we're 4 each. He's not gonna keep making mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he hasn't really made mistakes in the grand scheme of things. Maybe the jump shot or something a bit full, but all in all, give credit where credit's due. Simon has been playing pretty solid so far. Be looking to continue that on. Just a quick call out before he breaks, Tim. His teammate or colleague from Spain, Juan Carlos Exposito, playing in the remaining last 16 match against Nikolai Solomonovic. That's now 7-6. He was 5-1 down in that match, so he's coming back again to another incredible comeback. And I believe in his match in the last 32, he won that 9-8 as well. I mean, what a story he's having in this tournament. It's quite incredible stuff. Well, dry break this time. And Martial will kindly accept the open table without any problems. Nothing of real any drama here.
Yeah, he's not playing as fast as he usually does though. You can see he's trying to work his way around. So a bit more static than usual. But in the end it's all about getting the job done, and he is perfect on the 7.
Yeah, these are the kind of clearances we're used to seeing from Martial. Straightforward stuff. I think that 3-0 lead is, yeah, like you say, maybe going to be a buffer before the storm. He was always going to be in for a battle, was Simon. And Martial very quickly making light work of that illegal break. And I think it's a little bit like you said, Tim, that the softer break or the more controlled break does have value if you can make a couple of balls and make the points. But as we're seeing there, he did make a ball but didn't get the points, and it can catch you out a little bit sometimes if it doesn't work out as planned.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like in every discipline and pool, the break just being such an important factor. You could play a perfect match and still lose 9-2. I've experienced that just by not getting much after the break or even illegal breaks. Any of those like this is tough.
Yeah, always will be a big part. And it's always interesting to see different styles. Some people prefer to go for power, some precision, some kind of somewhere in between. But all of a sudden, the momentum has changed a little bit. Don't think this 2-ball goes. It might be tight. No, he's playing safe, so a little bit unfortunate there. It was a good break. He would have liked to have kept that momentum going. It does bring back Simone to the table. I do like this 2-reel kick shot. If you can get behind the 2, would keep the cue ball pretty solid or pretty much near that short rail. If you can get there. Unless he goes for a thin edge. Looks a bit acute, the angle. Yeah, he was going into it there. Looked like it. How's the speed? Well, that's not bad. But he has left a look at the 2. Question is, can he see enough to split the balls? You've got the 4-ball, the 3-ball, and the 7-ball there to hide behind whichever way he chooses to go, left or right. Choosing to go to the left side, and yeah, he looks away and maybe disgust there. He's left the window. It was all about the pace that he was trying to hide the cue ball up behind the 7. There is a bank on here. If he wants to go a little bit aggressive, I kind of do like him going aggressive, Tim, if he can. I think it's going to work in his favour over being too defensive.
Yeah, I gotta take the momentum too. I mean, you finally get something to play. Super close though. But he was also playing a bit more shape there, following the cue ball. And I was wondering maybe to stun the cue ball for the 3-ball in the top left corner. So that softer pace definitely caused the 2-ball to go wide.
Yeah, you're totally right. I did like the shot choice though, even though it was a little bit tentative. I do like his thinking. He should take his chances when they come, because like you said, Martial can run the train straight through this match. But he has left a shot here. He didn't want to catch that 6-ball. So it's on the cushion, a bit of a distance, but it's a chance.
Oh, I think it has gone wrong. Yeah.
It went wrong, then it went right, then it went wrong again, didn't it? He hit the 2-ball wrong, but he got a bonus off the 6. But then, because he hit it so thin, lost the cue ball. I mean, it's very close to the 8-ball. Is there a jump option here, Tim, or is it too close, you think? He's going for his cue.
Well, apparently he is jumping, but these kind of distances, definitely one I try to avoid till the point where it's the only thing I can do. Then obviously I'm playing it, but I think he could still kick at the 3-ball. But, you know, if he makes it, proves me wrong.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I didn't like that distance from the 8-ball. It was just, I felt too much of what happened could happen. You have to get so high, elevated, to make those work. Well, a nice chance back to Martial here. Again, open table. key shot coming up on the 6. Of course, it's close to the corner pocket, but he does have to get up. Well, you would think up the table above the 9 would be nice.
Yeah, and before you know it, this nice 3-0 lead has just been vanished into 3 each. Martial looking, well, looking worth $1,000 right now. I mean, I would say, or maybe even $1 million. He's starting to play really good, and yet Simon starting to be a little less.
Yeah, I think you called it. It was only a matter of time, wasn't it, before Martial started to get a little bit of momentum. I couldn't foresee a complete freeze out from the man from Spain. But you still got to take the positives. It's still early in the match. 3-3 isn't a bad place to be. I'd much rather be 3-3 than 6-0 down or another score where you're behind. So this 9 ball, and he does make it 3-3. Fought his way back, and he'll be feeling much better now. That's for sure. Quick update on the other tables. We have 2 other matches running at the moment. We have the women's quarter-final, Ocean against Lopez. Yasmin is 4-2 down in that match, race to 7. So the lady from Spain having a fantastic week at the moment. And then on the under 23s quarter-final on table 3, Dennis Leskowski from Germany. Well, he's 4-0 up at the moment against Starkerman, Switzerland. So flying there at the minute is Dennis. Yeah, I have to say the 2 standout countries for me over the last days, or maybe this week, Tim, I don't know about you, but Spain I've been super impressed with, but Germany has been extra strong, obviously with Daniel winning as well. But yeah, some very good performances this week. And again, another soft break, Tim. It's going to catch him out again.
Well, the thing with the soft break, or the softer break, he's not doing a soft break, but I know what you're saying. So if you make the wing ball and the 1 ball all the time, that's where, well, you're most likely to always have 1 ball going into the kitchen. So it's more valuable to find a spot where you make those 2 balls than trying to crush them because you need to get 2 balls into the kitchen. But then yet, if that 1 ball runs into the side pocket point, that's where it doesn't go, and it doesn't go into the kitchen. So that's probably the worst result you can get.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. There is benefits to doing it, but there's a lot of risk. I don't know what the percentage split would be in terms of 50-50. That was a bit jabby as well. So all of a sudden, Q action starting to feel Simon a little bit here. Tim, I think he's starting to feel the pinch with Martial coming back strong.
Yeah, and I think that's also a difference in quality. You know, like all the top players, if you start to play well on them, they will find a way to reply to that, you know. So if they start not so great and you start great, in a couple racks they will figure out a way to put some heat on you, even though, well, you are thinking, hey, you know, I'm playing well, he's struggling, I have a chance. But it just doesn't last as long. And, well, now it's actually up to Simon to hit another gear. And there is the little question. We're not too familiar with him. The little question is, does he have another gear?
Yeah, definitely. One thing's for sure, we know Daniel does have another gear as well. I think the one thing with Maciol, Tim, I know you've watched him a lot, we all have, he's just very steady, isn't he? Motion-wise, temperament around the table. Very rare do you see him kind of get frustrated or animated. And we joked, Gethin, one of our commentators, Gethin Davies and I were watching the match with Stefan Kaspers from Germany. We were just laughing at Stefan, just having a little word with himself. Very animated guy, telling himself off for a bad shot, and you can really see him beating himself up. You very rarely see that from Maciol, I think. So chilled. Pretty straightforward here, just up and down. He's actually going off 2 cushions, so he liked the angle to run it through. He's landed perfect on the 8, so simple stop shot. All of a sudden, Simone finds herself in a world of trouble because this train has left the station, Tim.
Yeah, and the train has the break also coming up. So running from a 3-0 deficit to a possible 5-3 lead. 5 on the trot. Very possible soon.
Yeah, maybe that should be his nickname, The Train, courtesy of Tim de Ruyter. I'm sure that one will stick. But just before he breaks, quick update on the last 16 matches still running. That Juan Carlos Exposito match is still going. He's now 8-7 down. Goodness me, can he get out of jail with another 9-8? We'll have to keep an eye on that one, see how it unfolds. But Maciol with the break, looking for that 5 ball in the bottom right corner, maybe the 1 in the side. Most important thing is, well, the 5 wobbled, makes the points. Well, would you go for the 1-5 bank? Is that too aggressive, Tim? Does he push the boat out? He's only 4-3 down, but or does he look for a safety, split the balls?
No, I kind of like it. I mean, so many good things that can happen. The only thing I'm worried about a bit is the fact that you won't be able to do much with the cue ball. But I might bank it, stun the cue ball 2 rails in between the 6 and the 7. The 1 could go 1 rail back out. Could stay over the corner where he makes the 5. Yeah, but I did like more pace though. I mean, if in case you play this, you wanted the 1 ball to fly back out in between the 3-9.
Yeah, fully agree. I think playing it that way, it was always going to go to the little bit to the left side, wasn't it? But he's still at the table. It's not a terrible kick. If he can catch the left side of the 1, there is 4 or 5 balls up the middle of the table. That could help him. He did catch it that way, but maybe a bit too thin. Well, does it go on the top right? Probably does, but it's not a favourable cut from here. There you see it does go. Was a good shot. He needs another one. He's not only got to pot this, but he's got to get the cue ball back into a position where you can see the 3. There is a bit of table. Come off the long rail, back across to the middle of the table. Oh, that's a great shot.
Yeah, needs that angle. Needs the angle anyways on the 3 ball to go back up table.
Yeah, just getting back up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the way he was just readjusting himself there, Tim. He was just didn't want to just make a too hasty commitment. So he got back up and he made sure he was right before he played the shot. And maybe slightly under hit that a touch. Prefer to come back a little bit more. He might have to come across for the 8 in the top left here, I would think, rather than trying to cinch this too much. Plenty table there to work with.
Yeah, let's see if he actually goes forward or if he prefers the low left to cross straight over. The low left, the biggest problem is if you leave yourself too high, that scratch into the side pocket is quite big. But I think he's just fallen straight enough to where he can draw away from the scratch. So the cue ball will be safe.
Yeah, he was using all the rail there as much as he could just to straighten the pot up to avoid the side. He's landed pretty nice on the 9. Punch it in for a 5-3 lead, and well, what to talk about momentum shift for 3-0. Look for all the world that the man from Spain was playing super well. And I'm not going to say the wheels have came off Tim, but he's definitely dropped off level-wise since then. Well, let's see if he still elects for the relatively softer break. Yeah, gets the ball in, but it's going to be an illegal break again. I think he needs to revisit what he's going to do for the rest of this match, because he's had 3 in a row now, Tim, and I think he needs to change it up.
Yeah, the only thing, it's a difficult one because he's making that wing ball. So overall, you would say, hey, why would I change? I'm making the wing ball. Things are looking good. But then yet I think he might have to break him. Or maybe he's playing... this is the weird thing. Like, every table breaks a bit different. Does he use maybe a little bit too much spin and the speed is not happening that much on the balls? Or is he cutting it too thin, cutting it too thick? Like, there is a lot of different ways to get to the same result in this break, and maybe on all the other tables this kind of break has worked, and then now suddenly it's just not the result anymore. But in the meantime, this Martial is starting to get very comfortable at the table. I don't think he's landed with something on the 2-ball, but he's definitely able to play safety on this. Or maybe it has. Ooh.
Well, it looks tight. Maybe it goes off the far jaw. Looking at it, but maybe the camera angle's a little bit deceiving. Surely that doesn't go. Maybe no, he's playing the thin edge. But yeah, to your break comment, Tim, yeah, I hear what you're saying. I just think, for me, if he is making that wing ball, then that's a good sign. Maybe he just needs to put a little bit more power in, just to try and get a few more balls moving to hopefully get the points, because that's what's caught him out. Otherwise, you're relying on a little bit of luck for that one ball to go as well, or another ball to go up table. Either way, he will have a few more breaks to think about it. He's going to hit this. How's the luck? Gets a rail. Not a bad hit, not an awful outcome. Hasn't left the 2 on, so could have been worse.
Yeah, but does have a nice thin contact on the 2. If he can stick the cue ball under the 9, it's a bit of a death trap. I mean, as long as the 2 ball goes up a bit though. Oh, no, he's opted to go straight behind the 5. It's done nicely. I don't think Simon will be able to do anything easy. We'll have to go over the top long rail. The 2 ball can be pushed up table, but yet where do you stick the cue ball? And you still need a perfect hit, obviously, so...
Yeah, he has to go long rail here. Like you say, catching the bottom of the 2 would be nice. He has done. Oh, that's unlucky. It's a pretty good hit. Maybe a little bit pacey, but it was a good hit still.
Yeah, I think, the hit itself, he's hit it. I don't think he could have hit it any better. Indeed, a bit pacey. But still, if you catch the 9 ball a bit fuller, the cue ball could have slid under the 5, you know, like... There's so many things that could have gone wrong, could have gone right at that pace, I mean...
Yeah, but that's what happens. Daniel played a pretty good safety shot, so kind of got the rewards there. And this 5, 6, and 7 couldn't be much sweeter. Key shot really is going to be from 8 to 9, but to be honest, any kind of angle on the 8, you can choose to go the left side of the 9 or the right side. So this is looking ominous indeed. I think if the man from Spain can't find something, tell you what, Tim, wouldn't be a far stretch to say that Daniel could win every rack from here, because he seems to be in absolute control.
Well, as I said, it's difficult to stop this train whenever it's going. But also Simon, he did have opportunities in the meantime to stop that momentum. I really think it's time to take a timeout. 3-0 up to 6-3. I probably would have taken a timeout last track. Obviously Marshall's gonna feel like, well, you know, you just give me open racks. Maybe I can close it out with 9 in a row.
Yeah, no timeout taken. Maybe you could say it's maybe experience of being in a big moment like this in the quarterfinals. Of course, we don't expect players, they don't have to take a timeout. They're very much able to sit there as long as they want in the match. But I do like what you said, Tim. I think it's been such a big momentum shift. Not to say it's even tactics or strategy to just break up a little bit of flow from Daniel, but just to at least regroup your thoughts or something. Big break coming here.
Yeah, and he does find some luck right there. Made none of the usual suspects. That 7 ball hung up just at the right timing with the 6. And then yet the 1, 4 and the 8 crossing the kitchen line, and the 4 ball finding a way to go. And actually, you start with the 1 ball, you drop to the bottom of the table. And actually you don't have to do too much traveling. Maybe a little nudge onto the 6-9. But he doesn't have to go crazy much back and forth over the table and super draw and all that kind of stuff.
No, and also there is a couple of balls that can be used for that little 6-9 bump, because I'm pretty sure, just because of where they're lying, unless it goes in the side, but he's looking at it now. If he does play it this way though, Tim, he's going to have to make sure he plays it in such a way, either pace or position of contact, to get a shot on this 3 ball. That's why he's played it with more pace. He's been unlucky there, Tim, I think. think he can catch the edge, but not sure he can do a great deal with the cue ball or the 3. Maybe he could chip the 3 ball to the top short rail. I don't even know if he can see enough. Try and get that cue ball back down behind the 7. I don't even know if that's even on. Maybe it's far too thin. Oh, Tim. Oh my gosh. How about that? Talk about momentum shifts. Ouch.
Yeah, this is quite a trap. We'll have to go over the short rail. Might even have to go 3 rails, because I think if you want to go 2 rails over the bottom short rail, the 5 ball comes in between.
Yeah, this is not easy. Could go around the back of this either way. So much room. There you go.
Yeah, a bit more back and forth now with the 6 to the 7. But then overall, if you imagine, he was down 3-0. By the time now he's up 6-3 and he gets this layout, he must feel that he's untouchable. I mean, how are you ever going to think you're not going to run this out when you've just won 6 in a row?
Yeah, it's a fair point. He's kind of thinking it's all going his way at the moment, so there's no reason for him to doubt anything. Just another open table. I mean, that was a big bit of roll to get behind that 8 ball. But this is how the game goes, especially a 9 ball. So he's a little bit short on this 6 ball. He could take it into the top left, top right corner if he wants to, but if he takes it in the side, then he's going to have to run the cue ball up and down. It's not a huge problem, but just means a bit more travelling. Well, I've seen worse positional shots. Absolutely perfect. Yeah, just swing this round above the middle pocket. Or could even go 1 rail, so even better. Take that middle pocket completely out of the equation. This 9 ball. 7-3. That's 7 in a row. Is he now taking a timeout? Nope. I thought he was putting his cue down to maybe go stretch his legs, but oh yeah, here we go.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Yeah,
Taking a
so
timeout.
both players now leaving the arena, so we're just gonna leave you with a nice view on table 1. And in the meantime, Graham and myself, Tim de Ruiter, Graham Hickman, we're gonna take a short break too. But we will be back very soon with the conclusion of this quarterfinal match. Can Pedro Diego Simon play himself back into this quarterfinal? We'll find out after a break. And the players have returned to the table. Daniel Marcial 7-3 up against Pedro Diego Simon. And well, just looking forward to see if the Spaniard can play himself back into this quarterfinal. In the box, Graham Hickman and myself, Tim de Ruiter. Graham, what do you think?
Well, it's one-way traffic, Tim. In all honesty, I don't see how... Well, here we go. Ooh, maybe a little bit of a nice bump then to avoid an illegal break, but it's deja vu on the break for Simon. He hasn't changed anything since the start of this match. It just hasn't started to work like it did at the beginning. Well, for me, Tim, I just can't see how he can get back in this unless Marcial starts to have a bit of a nightmare. I think this could be a 9-rack run to take this one. 9-3 is my prediction, only because of the way the momentum's gone in these last racks.
Yeah, I think this could be the final blow, actually. I mean, you're just taking your time out, saying, okay, listen, this is the point where I have to stop my opponent from the major run he's on. And then the first thing that could happen here, if everything goes well with this combination, would be your opponent winning the first rack after the timeout.
Yeah, definitely. But even just shots like this, he just looks so in control, Marcial, at the moment, and it would be great if the man from Spain could get back into the match somehow, but those illegal breaks have been the killer, really. He's had 4 in a row, Tim, and he's never really been in control of any of those racks, even where there's been a bit of a safety battle. So you could probably argue he's maybe had, maybe one chance that you maybe called that he didn't take advantage of, but other than that, hasn't really had a look in, to be fair.
Yeah, a bit more angle on the 8. He's looking to skim off the edge of the 9. Just gotta be careful not to push the 9 to the bottom short rail. Just gotta skim it lightly. Yeah, nicely judged. Marcial on the hill, 8-3.
Yeah, deja vu. And Daniel now with a break to win the match. And that'll be his goal of the next break for sure. See if he can take this out in clinical fashion, really, has to be said, from 3-0 down. But just while he's racking the balls there, yeah, Yasmin Ocean against Sylvia Lopez on the other table. Managed to get that back to 4-4, so Yasmin doing what she does, battling back there. And the man from Germany, Dennis Laskowski, 5-2 up against Sylvian Starkerman. Still a bit of pool left in that one. But here we go. Will this be the break? Gets the 1 ball. Little bump on the 8 ball and the 7 there, makes the points. Well, having a close look at the one down the rail there for the combination, but you would think this is a chance, Tim.
Yeah, I mean, with 8-3 up, you would definitely expect him to go aggressive on the 4-5 combination, unless he likes his chances to draw just to the short side of the 4, and he's looking to draw into the bottom short rail. I don't think with this angle. That's so easy to do.
Well, he's really just one shot away. He's got plenty of table to work with if he does choose to go forward off a couple of rails. Needs to run a little bit more, would be nice. But he's also fine because he can draw this back in a similar way to him. Very much the same shot off a couple of rails back to the middle of the table. I think this could be all she wrote if he gets this one right. Well, Tim, I mean, one word for me, clinical.
Yeah, it was so weird too. Simon coming out of the gate so strong. Marcio looked like, hey ho, what's happening? You know, like he was a bit shook. And then, like I said, another switch flipped, and this 9 to get through to the semifinals. We will have the teams and the 9-ball being played all the way till the end tomorrow. And this was our last match for today on here. Of course, you can check out the other 2 tables still in action. Graham Hickman and Tim de Ruiter, we are signing off for now. But we would love to welcome you back tomorrow at 9 a.m. local Turkey time. We will see who is going to win the titles. Thank you and see you tomorrow.